Exclusive contract novel of Feilu Fiction Network. Genshin Impact. People in the Rice Wife, join the chat group. Luochen traveled across the Tivat continent and joined a chat group before participating in the Imperial Battle. Sign in at the beginning to gain the power of the dragon spell of the 12 spells. Besides power, the source seems to be mixed with a hint of dragon nature. So, after the Imperial competition, Tivat's art style completely changed. Merlin. Do me a favor, Avalon is yours, and Altolia is also yours. Lei Movie. Can you explain to me your relationship with your sister? Thunderbolt Zhen. Luochen, this is the divine heart of the Thunder God. With this, you are the third Thunder God of Inami's wife. Amia. Help me, Mr. Luochen. Thunderbolt Yayi. Even if I hold a paramecium in my hand and carry the long sky market, one hand is invincible in the world. Luochen's husband, help me. Faced with the aggressiveness of the Lei Movie, Luochen could only spread his hand and said, Ying, from now on we will each discuss our own issues. You call me brother.in.law, and I call you wife. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Strong and Powerful, Strong and Powerful. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Tivat continent, Inazumi shrine under the cherry tree, a handsome young man with black hair held onto his waist and let out a long sigh. What's wrong, little one? The Imperial competition is about to begin, what does it look like with size and size? A witch with pink long hair and a graceful and charming figure walked with a smile on her face. Lord Shensi, can you explain why I participated in the Imperial competition? Luochen gritted his teeth. Oh my, you're angry, little one. If it weren't for me, you would have died by the roadside, said Shiba Shigeko with a light smile. Luochen, 18 years old, is a time traveler. Due to drawing 10 consecutive gold medals, his European aura exploded, and he was electrocuted when he turned around. The lifespan of European husks is extremely short. JPG born in Liyue, he unexpectedly came to Inazumi to do business with her. However, he encountered a shipwreck and survived alone. As he had no money to go back, he arrived alone on Mingshan Island and settled down with the help of his good brother Toma. I originally intended to work as a guard to earn money for people, but in the end, Ina's wife issued a national lockdown order and couldn't go back. Ina's wife was a bit chaotic, and coupled with the fact that the heavenly leader was chasing people everywhere, it was a sensitive period, which led to him helping people with some trivial matters and earning some extra income on a daily basis. One day, while handling the commission, he was seriously injured and dying under the siege of the sea chaos ghosts. He was picked up by the passing eightfold scrapped fox and brought back to the Mingshan society. Then this relative of the Thunder God registered himself for the Imperial Grand Prix. Of course I know. I've heard of foxes repaying kindness to people, but I haven't heard of people repaying foxes. Luochen roast. No, I just found you an iron rice bowl. Shattered Fox hugged his chest with both hands and said, through the Imperial competition, you can join the Tianling Fengxing. Isn't it better than running around? Tianling Fengxing, one of the 3 Fengxing of Inazumi, is the security supervisor of Inazumi, responsible for executing political orders and military affairs. The position is important, and of course, the salary and benefits are also very good. But it's also very dangerous. Tianling Fengxing often went to eliminate Ronin, see chaos ghosts, and heal people. Now, with the issuance of the policy of seclusion and the eye-hunting order, resistance forces have emerged, and Tianling Fengxing suffered heavy casualties. You don't have to kill the rebels, said Ba Chong Shensi angrily, knocking on Luochen's head. Your life was saved by the Eightfold Palace Minister, who combines beauty and wisdom. You can't just lose it like this. Well, if you join the Tianling Fengxing, immediately fill your pockets and roll up money to run away to Liyue. Amazing, are you thinking of something strange, kid? Sigh, hey, forget it, I hope you become a high-ranking official under the leadership of the heavenly leader, and consider it as a reward for saving your life. If I remember correctly, among the 3 officials of Inami, the officials of Tianling and Jia Ding both colluded with the fools. The officials of Tianling were corrupt and relied on the presence of the Thunderbolt General to disregard the fools and act recklessly. The Eightfold Divine Son is basically an observer, can't you resist taking action now? No, that's a grand competition in front of the Emperor. Swords and swords have no eyes, but they can kill people. What do you mean? We need to add money. As long as you can make it to the top 4, I'll give you 10 million moles, first and more. Deal. After finishing the transaction with Hachio Shinko, Luochen rubbed his chin and went down to Yingxiang Mountain. The first one was a bit difficult, but the top 4 were fine. He has confidence in his own strength. If it weren't for 5 sea chaos ghosts going up together, he wouldn't have been seriously injured. A cold mechanical sound suddenly flashed through my mind. Inami's first love joins Wanjia chat group, Merlin. Welcome newcomers, I am Merlin, the court magician of King Arthur. You can also call me Merlin Big Brother. Thunderbolt Yayi. Welcome. Amia. Welcome. Luochen was surprised and turned into ecstasy. After traveling for 18 years, have you finally arrived at the Golden Finger? Hello everyone, said Ina wife with deep affection from their nicknames and avatars. They can be seen as Merlin from the Moon World, Amia from the Ark World of Tomorrow, and Thunderbolt Sprout from the Collapse World. And the chat group leader is Merlin, an unreliable guy. It seems that none of these people's worlds are very safe. Merlin's world would be like the FGO world line, where human nature burns but human nature freezes. Well, human nature is full of disasters and difficulties. Amia's world, in short, is a cesspool, where 996 is the light of civilization. I don't know if this Thunderbolt Sprout cloth is broken 2 or 3. The third one is fine, the second one can wash away and sleep. In that desperate world, dying together can be considered a happy ending. Merlin. Everyone in this chat group is from other worlds. How is your world, little brother? Ina's wife said deeply, my world is called the Tivat continent, ruled by 7 gods and 7 countries, and has always been in a state of peace. Inami's first affectionate wife changed her name to Luochen, Amia. Is it a peaceful world? It's really good. She envies that in her own world, wars and famines have never ceased, and there is also a deadly mineral disease. To survive, everyone needs to work at least 12 hours a day to get enough food and clothing. Thunderbolt Yayi. Amia, come on, you can definitely fulfill your dream. Amia. Thank you, Sister Yayi. I won't give up. Merlin. It's very exciting, this child. By the way, newcomer, remember to sign in. Maybe there's a surprise. Group message. Luochen has successfully signed in and obtained the power of the dragon spell. The dragon charm represents the concept of heat and flame energy, as well as the concretization of their formation. Blasting is just the most basic application. Considering that the Holy Lord is a divination demon, the dragon talisman may be the origin of the fire. The power of the dragon talisman was fully infused into Luochen's body. At this moment, his momentum immediately surged. So powerful, so majestic, what enemy can stop it? His mother, what else can stop it? Strong and powerful. Strong and powerful. A strong flame ignited in the palm of the hand, and dragon-shaped patterns emerged in the eyes. 10 million mora, I'm going to make it. Merlin. Surprisingly, they can send strength. I thought all the sign-ins were given toilet paper or points. Amia. No, Mr. Merlin, I have already obtained an illusion called Naroki's witchcraft. Thunderbolt Yayi. I have also received a super electromagnetic cannon. Check-in is one of the basic functions of chat groups, with various rewards that no one knows what will appear. Points can be purchased in the chat group's mall and obtained through check.in or group task processing. It's better to disguise yourself first and become a fire god's eye. At present, Inami has issued an eye hunting order to confiscate the god's eye. The holders of the god's eye are in danger, and in order to prevent their god's eye from being taken away, many people will fake it. Having the eye of God is very dangerous, but without it, driving elemental power is even more dangerous. If not guaranteed, he will be stabbed into the statue by the Thunder God. Chapter 2. Night Palace. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Hanamasaka, Nagano-hara Fireworks Shop Luochen found the current owner of Nagano-hara Cigarette Shop, which is known as the Summer Festival Queen's Night Palace. It's Mr. Luochen, I haven't seen you for several months. The lively and lovely girl approached Luochen with a cheerful tone. The long and snow-white legs are unforgettable. The bathrobe is half naked, revealing half of the fragrant shoulders. The tight bandages on the body showcase a curvy figure. The enormous evil hidden in the bandage sways up and down with its movements, catching people's attention. Is there really such a Q.bomb? Undoubtedly, it is Tivat's first fire C, well, fire A is walnut. I was injured before, I'm recuperating outside. Oh, are you okay? The girl's concern and enthusiasm made Luochen couldn't help but smile. When we first met, this girl was like this, a kind child. It's okay, Xiaogong. Can you do me a little favor? Who are we talking to? Let's talk. Luochen pulled Xiaogong into the fireworks shop and said, can you help me make a fake fire god's eye? The eye of God. Are you? Xiaogong looked at the flames on Luochen's finger and mistakenly thought that Luochen also had a divine eye. Some people wonder, Master Zhengsheng, who is the eye of God, has been arrested. Why don't you use mine first? She herself is also a fire-type divine eye, and she also wears a fake one on her body to prevent her divine eye from being taken away. Most of the time, when a person's desire is strong enough, there is a chance to obtain the eye of God. In the eyes of the gods, the wishes of the holders are held, which are usually not lost. However, after being taken away by the Thunder God, the holders will lose their original wishes, and many people will become confused. No need, why don't I help you save someone? How can we do that? It's really too dangerous. Don't worry, I'm not weak no matter what I say. Okay. After hesitating for a while, Xiaogong still agreed. At night, the two of them changed into clothes to cover their eyes and ears. Taking advantage of the darkness, they quietly touched the prison where Master Zhengsheng was being held by Tianling. Ha, I'm so tired. Why hasn't anyone come to change shifts yet? A prison guard yawned and said. No, I can't hold on anymore. I'll take a nap first. Hey, you're not afraid of being caught by Lord Judiajala. She can't rub sand in her eyes. My companion reminded me, but the guard still lay on the table and said, just a terrible old man, he can't even run out. As he spoke, two dark shadows broke into it, and Luochen knocked out a prison guard with a punch. The other person who heard the sound raised their head, then their eyes turned black and they collapsed directly. Master Zhengsheng, we are here to save you. Xiaogong breathed a sigh of relief when he saw two prison guards taken down by Luochen. He walked to the prison door with the key and opened it with it. Are you guys? Master Zhengsheng, whose hair was graying, hesitated for a moment and asked. It's me. Xiaogong took off his mask and Master Zhengsheng exclaimed excitedly, why did you come here? It's really too dangerous here. It's okay, I'll take you away first. Xiaogong pulled Master Zhengsheng out, and Luochen, wearing a prajna mask, nodded and said, let's go. You can't leave. An arrow shot into the floor under their feet. Jutao Sakura walked in with a cold expression, holding a bow and arrow, blocking the door. Behind him was a group of soldiers under the command of the heavenly leader. I had anticipated that a gang would come to rescue me, otherwise why didn't you think you saw many people on the way? Breaking into the prison of Tianling without permission and robbing the general is a serious offense, capital offense. Pulling open the bowstring, purple lightning flickered above the arrows. Under Luochen's mask, his eyebrows furrowed and he protected the two behind him. The temperature inside the prison cell sharply increased, and 9 spears shot an arrow. The next moment, the scorching wind howls. The red flame whip swept across like a raging dragon. The lightning arrows shattered like paper, licked by flames, and snapped under the not-so-strong whip. Boom! An explosion. Shake everyone back. Is it overloaded? Thunder and fire intertwine, causing element overload. Jutao Shuluo snorted and asked someone to block the door. The smoke dissipated, but I saw the boy across from me lifting his left arm, pointing his index and middle fingers towards him, making a bent bow and arrow posture. Flames coalesce into arrows and are released. Quick defense. With a click, the flame arrows shattered the shield, and the soldiers flew backwards. Dragon explosion. The thick wall next to him was blasted open, and Luochen said, "You guys go first, I'll be there soon. Be careful." Xiao Gong helped Master Zhengxing leave, and Jiu Tiao Sua watched them leave without stopping. Let's take it easy. I will explain to the general and take it lightly. Luochen did not answer. As he raised his hand, flames filled the air, forming a barrier between the two. Turning his head, he jumped out of the prison cell, and after breaking through the flame barrier, he chased after him with his men. At the same time, Luochen had already met with Xiaogong and Master Zhengxing, who had just taken out the prison. Luochen, you're really impressive. That's the 9 tailings robe. Alas, the general in charge of the heavenly leader, you haven't fallen behind. Not bad, this is not the place to talk, let's go first. The 3 of them quickly left, but Jutao Sakura did not continue to chase. She already knew that Master Zhengxing was a good person, but due to her duty, she did not let anyone go. Someone is coming to rescue now, just show off. Master Zhengxing was hidden in a safe location by the Xiaogong until the situation passed, and Luochen also obtained the fake fire god's eye. Master Zhengxing's craftsmanship is undeniable, to the point where it's just like real, except for not being able to release elemental power. Thank you this time, Xiaogong. Oh, if it weren't for you, it wouldn't be easy for me to save people alone. Speaking of which, what are your plans for the future? I want to participate in the Imperial competition. Oh, Yuqian Dabi, ah. Yuqian Dabi. Xiaogong looked at Luochen in surprise and nodded again. Also, your strength is so strong that you can definitely get first place. May I borrow your auspicious words? It's just that the resistance army is raging right now. If you join the Tianling Fengxing, you may go to the battlefield. Luochen smiled and said, then go ahead. This war is very interesting. Do you think the resistance army is just those people who have been deprived of their divine eyes? Isn't it? Of course not, there are less than 100 people who have been deprived of the eye of God. How could we possibly gather an army? So, where did the remaining people come from? They are the people of Haiji Island. They cannot continue to be happy because of the lockdown order, and the eye hunting order cannot reach Haiji Island. However, under the guise of the eye hunting order, using human power to shake the gods is simply pointless. There is nothing wrong with Hainan Island's resistance, but this war is unjust. From the perspective of Inami's wife, a group of unruly people on Haiji Island not only do not believe in the general, but also launch a war. What do you want? Rebellion, right? I really brought out General Thunderbolt. The rebel army had already been chopped down with one knife. I didn't see the Wuxian blade in Banao Island, did I? Chapter 3 Kamisato Ayaka's Invitation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Returning to Inazuki Castle, Luochen found that his rented house had already been rented out, but fortunately, the landlord did not lose anything inside. Carrying his luggage and preparing to find a new house, Luochen met his good brother Toma. Toma, you want to treat me to dinner? Yes, you haven't come back for a few months, so you finally came back. Let's celebrate. The young man with blonde hair is out of place with Inami people. Although Toma has half of his Mond bloodline, he can make a good living in Inami City. Luochen used to live here with Toma's help. Then let's go to Wuyu Pavilion. Wait a minute, let's go to the Molu tea house in a different place. Okay, but I'm afraid there's more than just a meal waiting for me in the Molu tea room. Luochen's face was full of smiles, but it made Toma feel embarrassed. Luochen is a very good person with strong abilities, but he likes to show off and has an inexplicable pursuit of money. Sometimes what he does is incomprehensible. Many times, he doesn't even know what he wants. Thomas feels that the young lady may not be able to handle him. Perhaps the head of the family should take action. What you're saying is that my young lady just wants to see you. Princess Egret, what's wrong? She's interested in me. She wants to marry a son.in.law. Thomas choked and couldn't help but roll his eyes. My young lady hasn't arrived yet, so let's take a walk, she said with difficulty. Of course, who wouldn't want to eat and drink for free? The two of them chatted along the way, walked into the Molu tea room, and arrived at a tea room. A young girl sat upright in the tea room. Ice blue long hair, blue pupils, elegant and dignified. Far more beautiful than game modeling, an unforgettable beauty at a glance. Hello, Mr. Luochen. I'm Kamisato Ayaka when I first met. Hello, Miss Shinli. Luochen sits down, asks Ma to prepare tea and dim sum for them, and then exits the room. Please have tea, Mr. Luochen. Thank you very much. After taking a sip of tea, Luochen looked at the white egret princess in front of him and said, Miss Shinli didn't come to see me to treat me to dinner, did she? As Thomas said, he is not a person who plays cards according to routines. The bright gaze of the young girl fell outside the window, with cherry blossoms falling and beautiful lines drawn in the sunlight, appearing peaceful and beautiful. However, now Inami is not peaceful and beautiful. Mr. Luochen used to be from Liyue. What do you think of Inami's wife? I'm doing okay. Mr. Luochen knew that in the past, Ina's wife was not as chaotic as it is now. Now, the general has been deceived, and those who follow the heavenly leader and the censorate commander are acting recklessly. It is clear that every Ina wife has the right to happiness. They used to live in their own way, and those who owned the eye of God were firmly holding on to their wishes. But now, someone wants to take away their wishes and glory. The girl sighed at her current wife Ina and expressed her wishes to Luochen, hoping that he could help her and change the current situation. So you want to invite me to help you resist the eye hunting order? But what does this have to do with me? If it weren't for not being able to contact Captain Beidou, I would have run back to Liyue long ago. I don't think a good person like Mr. Luochen cares about the difference between countries, said Inami. Hello, girl, you are suspected of moral kidnapping. I'm sorry I care. As long as I have no morals, no one can think of kidnapping me. But I can't help with the current situation of the rice wife. I'm here for dinner today, so you don't have to eat anymore. Goodbye. Luochen doesn't want to get into trouble anymore. He can't just confront General Thunderbolt just because of a few words. And you're not giving anything. Mr. Luochen, you have enough strength, and I don't think you should just waste it like this. Kamisato Ayaka is worried. If you are willing, the society will recommend you to participate in the Yu-Qian-De-Bai competition, and with your strength, you will definitely become the general's guardian. Does General Thunderbolt still need protection based on his strength? Who is protecting whom when something happens? No need, I have already registered to participate in the Imperial competition. Kamisato Ayaka was stunned for a moment and sighed, in that case, we should do more than we need. Wishing you a successful start in the Imperial competition. May I borrow your auspicious words? Out of the wooden leakage teahouse, Luochen touched his stomach, drank a lot of tea, and ate a few dim sum. It was not enough. I found a Lamian noodles shop casually, ate and drank enough, rented a cheaper house, stayed there, and prepared for the Yuqian Dabi. During the preparation period, Luochen also chatted with Meilin and the others in the chat group. After learning that there was a competition here, Meilin wanted to join the fun, but he refused. Merlin, this pure and cheerful person, who knows what will happen when he comes over? Amia. Mr. Luochen, is the Imperial Grand Prix the same as Casimir's night competition? Luochen said, no, the purpose of the Imperial Grand Prix is to select talents to enter the Heavenly Leadership Academy. Nowadays, Casimir's nightly competition is a commercial performance. Amia. Well, you achieved a good result in the Imperial competition. Lei Yayi said, speaking of which, is Mr. Luochen a warrior? In the perception of Thunderbolt Yayi, there is not much difference between Inami and Jidong. Luochen. I am from Liyue, so I should say I am a hero. Thunderbolt Yayi. If there's a chance, I really want to fight with you and see. Thunderbolt Yayi has an excellent talent in swordsmanship and has reached the level of being able to avoid numerous rumors of the Beichen one-blade flow at a young age. Luochen. You can find Meilin. This product can fight against gods in swordsmanship. Although Merlin is a useless person breathing through his gills, his title is the British Sword Saint, the swordsmanship teacher of King Arthur, and he is very skilled in swordsmanship. Merlin. No, fighting is tiring, and I'm currently staring at a guy. Luochen thought to himself and said, isn't it Dr. Roman? Merlin. Oh my, you know, it's Romani Archimon. I created a VTuber account and he really likes it. Magic Mary, a venomous and proud virtual idol, although Dr. Roman knew that the person in it might be Merlin, he still shamelessly believed it. Luochen. If he finds out, maybe he will lift the ban and run to Avalon to beat you fiercely with his finger tiger. Avalon Sword Saint, Uruk Axe King, Israeli Boxing King, how does your crown caster's art style feel strange? Merlin. Hahaha, when it comes to running skills, I am quite confident. Merlin is able to survive until now, and the means to save his life are top-notch, otherwise he would have been killed long ago. Luochen said, if you want to watch the Imperial competition, you can come over. Merlin is fine. Merlin. Discrimination, this is discrimination. Thunderbolt Yayi. I still have to go to school. Is it really necessary to go because everyone in school is targeting her? Amia. Rhode Island has been relatively idle lately. I can ask Dr. Kelsey for leave. Chapter 4. Merlin's Gift. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Amia and Thunderbolt Yayi finally agreed to Luochen's invitation and came to Inami Castle. Excuse me, Mr. Luochen, I'm Amia. The girl with rabbit ears greeted politely, looking petite at less than 1.5 meters tall. Amia, leader of Rhode Island, Saka's Demon King, is of Chimera/Cat's race. In Terra, a place full of beast-eared women, having a pair of rabbit ears is not a strange thing, although it looks more like donkey ears. Well, Mr. Luochen, are you thinking about something very impolite? Amia, as the Demon King of Sakaz and the owner of the Black Crown, perceives emotions as her passive. No, there isn't. Luochen felt guilty and said. He quickly changed the topic and said, welcome to Inami, I'm Luochen. When we first met, I was Thunderbolt Yayi. Wearing a black sailor suit, Thunderbolt Yayi wore a knife pinned to her waist, and her appearance was almost indistinguishable from that of the Thunderbolt General. After all, she is a famous actress named Mihuyo, with a wife's face that the Caslana family cannot refuse. Nowadays, Thunderbolt Yayi is just an ordinary student at Chinyu Academy. Because her father Thunderbolt Longma was caught in an economic fraud case, Thunderbolt Queen, who used to be in school, has become the target of everyone's bullying. This group of people is really looking for death. Once the pressure on Yayi reaches the threshold, the law of thunder will change in seconds. I don't know how many people will die. Let me take you around the Rice Wife City. The Imperial Grand Prix will only open tomorrow. Amia and Thunderbolt Yayi agreed to come down and follow Luochen to stroll around the Rice Wife City. The scenery of another world piqued the interest of the second daughter, especially Amia, who was not often seen in peaceful places like Terra, which was like a cesspit. She wants to know more about the living standards of the people here than the street scenery. The standard of living is quite good. Working hard in the city of Inazuki, there is no problem with food and clothing. Amia felt a bit low and said, but everyone in Terra has already done their best to survive. The world without mineral diseases is really good. Terra's land eats people mercilessly. Luochen rubbed the little rabbit's head and said, don't be so discouraged. One day you will succeed. Well, I will work hard. The 14-year-old girl said so firmly. They were walking on the road, and Yayi's face made people exclaim, General, just like Li Yu's average imperial chef, Ina's wife can be said to be an average general chef. Yayi, who is almost the same as General Lei, inevitably causes some disturbances when walking on the street. Luochen quickly explained, this is not General, this is a local girl from the countryside, just looks similar to General. Local girl Yayi looked over with some resentment, at least she was also the eldest lady of the top chaebol in the Far East before. But to avoid riots, let's admit it. Jian Yayi admitted that everyone was not too fanatical, but they had a good impression of Yayi and even gave away a lot of food. The three of them carried a pile of things back and placed them on the table. Yayi tasted the tricolor dumplings and said, that Thunderbolt General is very popular. After all, it's the deity who notified Inami. Inami people grew up listening to her legend, so disrespect and love are the only problems. What kind of person is that general? She can fight, is greedy, likes to eat sweet dim sum, homegirls, and old girls of science and engineering, and is also very autistic. Oh, cooking can eat dead people, and she is blind as a wife. Ah! Is this really the ruler of a country? To be precise, today's generals are true Thor gods who create dolls with their own bodies, representing themselves in managing Inami's wife. The true Thor gods hide in isolation. Lei Movie is a martial artist who is not as good at governing the country as his sister Lei Zhen. After becoming the thunder god, he started making dolls, and scattered soldiers were a failure. After the thunder general succeeded, he directly acted as an AI agent. Inami implemented the monarchy AI system, which is completely different from the offline monarchy system of Mond and the retirement monarchy system of Ryu. Ah, this. That's it. Alright, I'll open a hotel for you and stay there. On the second day, the imperial competition officially began. The lively scene dispelled the oppressive atmosphere of Inazuki Castle for days, and it was heard that General Thunderbolt would personally visit this place, attracting many people. The number of people who came to participate in the imperial competition was countless, and a lot of ghosts and gods emerged. I am invincible in the wind, spirit, moon, and shadow. If you refuse, come and fight. Oh, I am the first way celebrity to disagree. You are all scumbags. If you want to say you're amazing, I'm invincible. So I'm a green hat streamer. Green hat flow, get out. N before the start of the competition, there was a commotion in the preliminary venue of the Imperial Grand Prix, and the troublemakers were forked out by the officials of the Tianling Academy. The gong rang, and the preliminary round of the Imperial Grand Prix officially began. The host was the general of the Kushiko family, Kushiko Sakura. Some people are still regretful to learn that they won't be able to see General Thunderbolt in the qualifiers, but being able to see the battles between the samurai is not a waste. There are 4,000 people participating in the preliminary round alone, which is still a situation where Tianling adheres to layer-by-layer screening, otherwise more people will come. The candidates selected by the Imperial Court are all elites, not all trash can enter. Of course, there are also related households like Luochen among them. 4,000 people will be eliminated in the preliminary round within a day to only 500 people, and all 500 people will join the Tianling Fengxing. But future positions will also be arranged based on rankings. In the first round of battle, Luochen encountered a Ronin. Let me try the knife. The Ronin drew his sword and charged forward with a strange cry, but was not even pulled by Luochen's sword and kicked him off the arena. It's all flashy. Taking a break from the stage, waiting for the second game, while also observing the game, in his opinion, there are not many who can play, nor have he seen any holders of the Divine Eye. Now that the Eye Hunting Order is being executed, there are not many people who are bold enough to bring the Divine Eye here. Yawning, I completed today's check.In. Integral +5. It doesn't look like there's anything good. Merlin was still shouting in the chat group, hoping that Luochen could agree for him to come to Inami's wife. Crossing the world requires the other party's consent. Come back during the final. Merlin. Brother Merlin is really touched. I can borrow a treasure from you. It's not good to get hurt. Merlin gave Luochen a red envelope. After Luochen opened it, he widened his eyes. That is a sword scabbard interwoven with blue and gold, engraved with elf characters on it. Translated as Avalon, Avalon, a evergreen land, is the sword scabbard named after the fairy town, also known as the independent and ideal town. It is a scabbard paired with the holy sword Excalibur. The holder will not age, and the injury will heal quickly. If the real name is liberated, it will be broken down into hundreds of pieces to protect the owner from any interference. King Arthur lost his sword sheath and was killed on the battlefield as a result. Will Merlin lend Avalon to me? What is this guy thinking? Chapter 5. Divine Son, you don't want to. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Luochen. Merlin, what do you want to do when you lend Avalon to me? Merlin. It's so outrageous. How could you doubt me, brother Merlin? Alvaron, why don't you use it first and then do me a favor? After pondering for a while, Luochen finally agreed that with Avalon present, even if the heavenly righteousness keeper came, he would not be harmed. I found a deserted place, took out the scabbard, and then stuffed it into my heart according to the method taught by Merlin. There was no strange feeling, and even my body relaxed a lot. The power brought by the dragon talisman can serve as a source of drive for Avalon. With Professor Merlin's method, Luochen uses it just like King Arthur. Returning to the arena, the opponent is a warrior who has practiced Iwamura flow. Yenzong Liuya launcher, please advise. The man wearing a samurai uniform said to Luochen. Liu Guhua Pai, Luochen. During the Liue period, Luochen and Xing Qiu joined the Guhua sect together. I am practicing the Shinka method, one of the three major secret techniques of the Guhua sect. Guns and swords are both excellent, but they are very talented, so even after learning them, the disciples of Guhua still have weak strength and their sects have declined. Therefore, some have taken a different path to intimidate others and make money. Although Luochen understood some mysteries, he still couldn't revitalize the Guhua sect. He could only watch the sect decline and eventually had to go out with the caravan to make money. He had to survive even if he could fight. Ding! The crisp sound of weapon collisions echoed on the arena, and the battle between the two experts quickly caught everyone's attention. Iwakura Ryu is now in decline, but still struggling to the brink of death. He still has a certain reputation in Inami, and the battle between Liuya Launcher and Luochen has ignited the passion of the Inami people. Fight! Fight! Eating me rock hides the mystery of flow. Tengu copying. Luochen let out a soft drink and said, burnt the lamp. The burning light shines brightly, gathering like a burning glow. From the gaze, from the sword light. Liuya launcher's sharp and cunning attack made Luochen fiercely counterattack, opening and closing wide. Liuya launcher had to defend from the initial attack. Tired of parrying, unable to find a chance to counterattack. How could that be? I am a descendant of Iwamura flow. I saw the knife on the opposite side being struck head-on, and the sharp blade in my hand was cut off with a single blow. Looking at the broken knife in his hand, Liuya launcher sat down dejectedly. I lost. But next time, I will definitely not lose. I'm looking forward to it. Luochen exhaled a mouthful of turbid air and successfully advanced. After the selection of 500 people, the venue needs to be renovated and the contestants should rest well to hone their swordsmanship. Thunderbolt Yayi and Amia decided to come back in the final and return separately, while Luochen also arrived at the Eightfold Hall. As the bookstore opened by Hachij Shinko, Hachij Tang's light novels are popular among the rice wives. Open a light novel called Please My Fox Immortal Palace Secretary on the bookshelf. Subway, elderly people, mobile phones. Ba Chongtang, Luochen, light novel. This book tells the story of General Fei Chai and the Minister of the Universal Fox Immortal Palace. This appears to be written by the disdainful fox in the author's vest. The smell of crumbs is almost overflowing. Congratulations, you won the victory effortlessly. A pair of pure white jade feet, like cardamom, appeared in sight while stepping on wooden clogs. Looking up, there were a pair of creamy white legs, followed by the seductive witch costume with a beautiful face and a mischievous expression, inviting Luochen into an elegant room. How about this light novel? It's our best-selling light novel from Bashongtang. That's it. As the editor-in-chief of Bashongtang, I can't ignore it. This novel is very popular among Inami, but you can't believe it's just like that. Most of your Liu's storybooks are related to Emperor Yen, and you've been writing them over and over again, isn't it boring? Said Shiba Shigeko with a smile. I won't say anything about Liu's storybook. As for this one, I should cultivate the Thunder God Lord into a useless person, making her unable to leave the Fox Immortal Palace Secretary. In the end, I couldn't bear the Fox Immortal Palace Secretary leaving me, so I imprisoned the Fox Immortal in the basement, took it for myself, and became a sick woman. His thinking of my friend imprisoning me in the basement and crazily taking me for myself, constantly shouting, "God's son, God's son." That scene back Hong Shensi felt his nasal cavity hot, and as he wiped his hand turned slightly crimson. Master Shensi, it seems that you are thinking about some very bold things. Luochen laughed mischievously. Master Shensi, you don't want anyone to know that you wrote this book, do you? Whispered in the ear of Shiba Shensi. He, little one, do you have any evidence? Oh, it's just speculation, but as you know, people always like to eat melons. If I spread this word, Lord Ba Chonggong will be ruined by then. Little one, are you going to repay kindness with revenge? No, I just want to see you eat less. The crumpled fox must taste it. Just a joke. Luochen put down his light novel and said, "Come on, what are you doing with me?" He came to the Eightfold Hall precisely because the Divine Sun invited him. You did a good job this time. In the final of the official selection, the general will appear and be crowned as the winner. I hope you win, and then advise the general to give up the eye-hunting order and the national lockdown order. In the eyes of Shinko, the eye-hunting order is not a big deal. What really affects Inami's wife is the lock country order. Not communicating with the outside world greatly slows down Inami's development, and internal conflicts are becoming more and more serious. It is necessary to remove the lock country order. What are you joking about? Even if I win, it's easy to talk. How could I possibly surpass San Fengxing? Didn't the little girl from Shifengxing's family come to see you? Forget it, both inside and outside of the conversation, they want me to be a tool. It's all about benevolence, kindness, and morality, and this thing can't be used as a meal. Hehe, it should be the meaning of that little boy from the Shifengxing family. That kid is not easy, he has been restless since he was young, said the eightfold divine son with a smile. What kind repels each other? He and I are not the same type of person, there is no such thing as one kind repels another. Picking up a light novel and tapping Luochen's head, he couldn't help but say, with me around, what are you afraid of? I just don't want to get involved. After the task is completed, I will send you back to Liyue. In addition to Mora, I will also send you a letter of recommendation to help you live a good life in Liyue. She has a good relationship with Ganyu, the secretary of Liyue 7 stars. It's just that she hasn't seen her for many years, but even with a little commission, Ganyu will still help handle it. Okay, I reluctantly agreed. You're such a greedy little guy who sells well even after getting a discount. It's natural for me to say goodbye if nothing happens. Luochen stood up and wanted to leave, but was stopped by the 8 heavenly gods. Wait a minute, are you interested in writing light novels? Ah. Light novel. Why not write a book called The Holy Grail of Tivat? P.S. Did anyone watch it? Squeak a sound. Chapter 6. Finals. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Holy Grail, Almighty Cauldron, Universal Anal Blaster, Wishing Machine. Crafted with 7 elemental powers and once every 500 years, this massive magic source connects to Sky Island and can even summon ancient heroes as heroes to participate in a ceremony. The winner will have the opportunity to make a wish. After listening to Luo Chen's account, Bakhong Shenxi's gaze was blazing. It's very interesting to hear. Write it out quickly. I also have to participate in the Imperial competition. Don't worry, there are still a few days left. Let's make an outline first, and I'll put it on the shelves immediately after it's out. 3 or 7 points. Why am I only 70%? That 70% is mine. I, the eightfold divine son, the palace secretary of Mingxian Dash, and a relative of Thunder God, only received 30%. 30% is already good, how many people don't have this way yet? 5-5. Deal. It's broken, I said it too early. In the next few days, Luo Chen was locked in his room to write light novels, while also checking in the chat group. In addition to points, I also obtained a skill. Knight does not die unarmed. The ability of Roundtable Rider Lancelot from the Moon World. No matter what kind of weapon, it becomes a D.level treasure when it falls into the hands of Luochen. If the strength exceeds, save the original strength. In theory, as long as there is enough magic, one can grasp the earth upside down. Your weapon is good, but it will be mine in the next second. As for the first volume of the light novel, it was handed over to Yachong Shenxi for polishing after completion. Well, it's interesting. Swordsman Lion Tooth Knight Vanessa, Spearman Red King Sacrifice, Archer Amos, and Magician, Gold, Rian Dote, they're really good. What's behind them? There's nothing left behind. Write quickly. I also have to participate in the Imperial competition, which will start in the afternoon. The eightfold divine son really wants to tie Luochen into the basement and make him code his characters crazily, but the Imperial preceptor is even more important. After tidying up, let him go to the competition venue. The renovated competition venue only left a large arena, surrounded by onlookers and contestants. After 3 days of selection, there were only 2 people left to participate in the final. In the final, General Thunderbolt will come to watch the game. It is still considered a knockout round, and with the current strength of Luo Chen, this group of people is still not worth watching. Steadily entering the finals without even getting injured. The location of the Imperial Grand Competition has also shifted from its original location to the front with 1,000 hands and 100 eyes. Looking at the statue of 1,000 hands and 100 eyes, adorned with dozens of divine eyes. Of course, there are also many fake inlays on it, and there are not many truly confiscated divine eyes. In order to prevent onlookers from colliding with General Thunderbolt, onlookers can only observe from a distance, but it can still be said to be a sea of people. The market opened, Luochen won the championship, losing 1.5, losing 1.2. If there is a good start, Luochen, as a favorite to win the championship, has a low odds mainly because he is too strong. Until now, he hasn't been injured, so the fool raised the odds. I bet Luochen wins, 500,000 mora. The white-haired dreamer holding a staff squeezed through the crowd and smashed a bag of mora onto the table. This 500,000 moles was obtained by Luochen from the 8 heavenly gods and handed over to Merlin to gamble on winning. 500000, okay, I'll take note. After recording it, Merlin walked over to Yayi's side, but Amia couldn't come over because she hadn't finished her work on Rhode Island. However, I also wish Luochen victory in the chat group. Yayi, what are you doing with a mask on? Because I look very similar to Thor, to avoid unnecessary trouble, it's better to wear a mask. Yayi said helplessly. Well, that thunder god does look similar to you. Merlin's gaze passed through the towering Tianshou pavilion and landed on that figure. Oh, I've been discovered. Merlin sighed and quickly pulled on Yayi, using illusion to hide herself. Yayi, should we get closer and take a look? Is that okay? My illusions can deceive even the world, these are small things. Merlin smiled and used illusion to cover up her and Yayi's figures, coming under the statue of the thousand-handed and hundred-eyes god. Curious Merlin even removed a divine eye and found herself unable to use it before stuffing it back in. General, here you are. I don't know who shouted loudly, and everyone's gaze fell on the sky. A figure walked elegantly in the direction of Tianshou Pavilion. The purple fried dough twists braid falls behind, and the purple and presents the style of noble and elegant coexistence. The bright eyes ignore everything, and the purple stockings reveal the mystery, which is full of sensuality when moving. The mysterious field that looms is full of exploration desire. General. General. Changdao is grand, and the calling of the gods is eternal. Changdao is grand, and the calling of the gods is eternal. Changdao is grand, and the calling of the gods is eternal. The voices of the people and soldiers were fanatical, like thunder or a tsunami, deafening. Luochen looked up at General Thunderbolt, who also noticed him. As a doll made by Thor, I only follow the set program and have a rigid way of thinking. As long as it doesn't violate her program, nothing will happen. General, sir. Let's start, said General Thunderbolt as Gideao Canera approached. The final of the Imperial Grand Prix has officially begun. The first match. Let Luochen face off against Sanchuan Xianichiro. Luochen's opponent was wielding a knife and carrying a long bow on his back. The Imperial Grand Priest did not specify that only one weapon could be used, and as long as he could win, even a surprise attack was possible. This three-boat string Ichiro relied on a spinning knife and won the previous match by chopping off the opponent's arm as he was about to fall off the arena. 3 boats, 1 string, 1 lang, please advise. Luochen. Sanchuan Xianichiro drew his sword and charged forward, engaging in a short battle with Luochen. The light and shadow of the sword flickered on the arena. The pressure from the weapon upload was much stronger than his previous opponent, and after a brief confrontation, Luochen understood that this person still had some skills. Take a step back, remove the strength from your hands, and move lightly and smoothly without any stagnation. The sound of metal collisions was incessant in his ears. Luochen seized the opportunity and kicked Sanchuan Xianichiro in the chest. He kept retreating, but immediately changed his move, pulling his bow and arrows, shooting 2 arrows in a row. Whoosh, the arrow pierced through the air and flew towards the door facing Luochen. Really, I didn't leave anything behind. Swinging his sword and shooting down the arrows, he kept getting closer and seizing the opportunity to continuously attack. The speed was so fast that it was difficult for Sanchuan Xianichiro to resist. Cutting rain and leaving a rainbow. With a sweep, Sanchuan Xianichiro quickly took over, but the next second, Luochen flipped backwards and kicked him on the chin. The whole person flew backwards. For the sake of my family, I will never lose. Grip the bow tightly, but find that at some point, the bowstring has already broken. It was just that one, his knife cut through my bowstring. Rolling to the ground, just as he was about to stand up, Luochen pointed a knife at his neck and whispered, "You lost. P.S. Find some data, it's so unfortunate, Yenzu." Chapter 7. I want to build you into a statue. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Did I lose? No. I haven't lost yet. I can't lose. To revive the family. Even if I abandon the glory of a warrior, I cannot lose. Sanchuan Xianichiro let out a wild beast-like roar, his whole body bathed in an ominous aura, his eyes red, and he swept open his blade and stood up forcefully. The sudden change surprised everyone present, and no one knew what had happened to Sanjo Saikairo. General Thunderbolt frowned, and the aura emanating from Ichiro Mifune's body made her somewhat concerned. What's up with you? 9 strands of silk are not unfamiliar. That is the residue after the death of the demon god. This power can harm living beings, corrode the mind, and even materialize into monsters. This power is also known as a demon in Liyue, and as a revered god in Inami. On the 8 Breezes Island, the power of the divine spirit often leaks out, and once infected, it is almost impossible to rescue. How could there be such power on the 3 ships' bodies? Having been watching the 8-fold divine sun, I thought of someone. Before General Thunder, the creation of the Thunder movie was called a puppet of scattered soldiers. Evil eyes. A secluded place in the distance. A short figure wearing a bamboo hat couldn't help but sneer at the scene and say, "Go, mortal, use this power to the fullest, burn it up in pain and sorrow." Even ordinary people who have the power of the gods will have to pay a price. Rumble, the dark purple electric light filled the arena, and Ichiro Mifune's rationality was devoured by the divine power in his evil eyes, leaving only instinct to drive his body to kill the person in front of him. Tisk. Luochen gave a dissatisfied click and turned his head to look at General Thunderbolt, who seemed to have nothing to do with himself. This evil eye should still be unfinished, otherwise it wouldn't have turned out like this. The person who gave him evil eyes is really uneasy and kind-hearted. Just like watching him kill his opponent in madness, along with himself being burned down by the power of the god. Die for me. Sanchuan Xianichiro roared loudly, and lightning attached to the blade, chopping out. The attack is fierce, leaving no room for maneuver. The current surged, and Luochen flickered and moved in it, with lightning arrows flying from below. Jutiao Sakura held on to the demon-breaking bow and shouted, "Sanchuan Xianichiro. You have lost your qualification to participate in the competition by staining your fingers with the power of the divine spirit. Kill, 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 kill." Thunderbolt arrows have been shot down, and Mifune Shoichiro has now lost his sanity. "General, please allow me to take down the 3 boats and 1 Rio," pleaded Kujo Sakura. "No, leave it to Luochen. Since he has already achieved victory, that is my soldier." General Thunderbolt whispered, "Luochen, take down the 3 ships of Xianilang. Obey me." Helpless, Luochen's sword collided with the opponent, and a fierce spark ignited, transforming into an angry dragon in the air. Faced with this kind of battle, if you don't show any real skills, you will really capsize. Is Luochen also the owner of the God's Eye? Does a God's Eye owner participate in the Imperial Grand Prix during the execution of the Eye Hunt Order? Kill you. Kill. Sanchuan Xianichiro roared irrationally, and the lightning driven by his evil eyes became even more robust and glaring, colliding with the fire dragon. Explosion occurs, flames rise. A flame whip shot out fiercely. I saw Sanjo Shoichiro's body shatter like paper, with aggressive heat hitting his body and filling his blood vessels, accumulating together. Click, the bones snapped under the whip. Sanchuan Xianichiro is like a bird with folded wings falling from the sky, lying on the ground unaware of life or death. A malevolent eye resembling the eye of God rolled out of his arms and eventually shattered into powder. I won, but take out the divine eye made by Master Zhengsheng and hang it around your waist. I hope you can deceive Thor. Looking at General Thunderbolt again, she had already grasped the razor named Razor Rice Light and stood under the statue of 1,000 hands and 100 eyes at some point. Luochen, hand over your divine eye, and I will still grant you your position. General Thunderbolt spoke indifferently, towering above. That won't work, I can't give you the little one's divine eye. Ba Chong Shensi walked over at an unknown time, with a faint smile on his lips, as if everything was under his control. The eye of God will hinder eternity. Isn't it true that the General Tengu around you also has the eye of God, said the 8 heavenly gods with a light smile. If you, General, want to take away my divine eye, I will offer it at any time, said Judiajala, neither humble nor arrogant who asked you. Little Tengu really doesn't know how to speak, Yeo Shensi looked straight at General Thunderbolt. I'm talking to you, General. General Thunderbolt's eyes flickered for a moment, and his voice changed from cold to slightly emotional. Son of God, don't do meaningless things. Su Bai's palm spread out, and Luo Chen's divine eye flew into her hand. Fake, you're fooling me. Whether the eye of God is true or not is very easy for gods to judge. The eye of God embedded in the statue is not always set by the Thunderbolt General, and ordinary people cannot distinguish between true and false. How could it be fake, General? You're joking. Hand over the eye of God, otherwise. I'm wrongly accused, that's all I have. Luochen secretly complained, that's all he was concerned about. The fakes made by mortals are enough to confuse the real with the fake. But what is fake is ultimately fake. Never repent. Judieo Swara shot a thunderous arrow and was incinerated by the scorching flames before approaching. Luo Chen's eyes were rendered red by flames, with dragon-shaped patterns shining brightly. Why take it so seriously? As he spoke, he had already asked Merlin to help him run away in the chat group. Even if you have Avalon on your body, you still need time to activate it. No need for divine eyes to drive elemental power, no, it's a bit different from elemental power. Thunderbolt General, no, the Thunderbolt movie that regains control of the doll's body opens its red lips lightly. You're an exception. And the exception is the eternal enemy. The indifferent voice of Lei's Movie swept through. She stands in the sky, ignoring everything. God does not need to pity sentient beings, what he needs to do is to establish rules and control sentient beings. As long as you move forward, you will lose something. Lei Film has always believed so. The many sacrifices that Inami has paid for thousands of years to move forward, the happiest years have passed, and even the figure she wanted to protect with her sword has been lost. Determination, courage, admiration, hatred. They will deteriorate and distort over time. Only eternity is closest to heavenly principles, which can make Inami's wife immortal. Under Lei Wei, all beings are equal. The thunder and lightning of the riot swept across the sky, shimmering with an incredibly dazzling divine power. Wherever the light passes, even looking up is difficult to achieve. The extremely oppressive pressure makes it difficult to breathe. The purple electric, representing the power of the gods, formed a terrifying area around them, causing everyone to suddenly turn pale and retreat in fear. I want to build you into a statue. Chapter 8. You should hold on to your ideals and drown. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As the thunder flickered, a purple sword slowly pulled out from the groove in his chest and held tightly in his hand. Swinging the knife, a thunderous eye emerged from behind. The surrounding space is shattered, and darkness devours everything. On the arena, only the 8 divine sons and the hidden Merlin and Yayi remained, as well as the Thunderbolt general who remained silent with his eyes closed. The body seemed to be pulled and uncomfortable, and by the time Luochen realized it, he was already in a pure land full of oppression and desolation. A noble figure sat in front of him, suspended in mid-air. This is a true movie of thunder. Thor is a pair of twin demon gods, divided into True, Baal, Shadow, and Beelzebub. The sisters won the devil-god war together, and thunder and lightning really became one of the 7 ruling thunder gods on Earth. Later, Thunderbolt established the shogunate, and Thunderbolt became a substitute for Shin as the shadow warrior, on the side of the shogunate. He is not good at using force and is good at governing the country, but Ying is good at fighting and can be said to have no idea about governing the country. They have always been a unified existence, complementing each other and jointly governing the rice wife. But he really died in Canria 500 years ago, and Ying had to replace his sister as the second Thor. But in the eyes of the Inami people, the thunder god has never been changed. Before death, entrust the accompanying weapon, Dream One Heart, to Shadow. Later, General Thunderbolt was created to manage Inami and pursue eternity on her behalf. From the 8-fold divine sun, place consciousness in the dream heart and create a pure land of one heart. Now, Luochen is trapped in the pure land of one heart, facing the true god of thunder. How do you want to die? I want to die of old age. General, there's no need, if it's really not possible, give me a boat and I'll immediately run back to Liyue. Emperor, as long as I have the opportunity to return to Liyue and kill me, I will not return to Inami. You are the eternal enemy. Lei Cinema holds his dream with one heart, condensing into a halo behind him. Tisk, eternity. You and your ideals make me laugh. Nothing is eternal. Everything is changing and never stops. Luochen placed his hand on his heart, feeling the warmth brought by Avalon, and said, "Can you reach eternity by killing me?" "No, it's not possible, you know it yourself." "Eternal, you haven't even figured it out for yourself, have you? You hold on to your pitiful ideals and hide alone in this rotten land. Like a autistic and pitiful little girl, holding a tattered doll and afraid to go out." "Shut up." Lei Movie doesn't want to say anything to Luochen duo. If you can't solve the problem, then the person who solves the problem. Those who show disrespect will be punished. Hey, this is not your line. As the cold voice fell, countless lightning beats within the pure land of one heart, roaring and exploding, forming a terrifying sea of lightning. Take it to death. Lei Movie came to kill with a knife. Luochen appeared with a sword scabbard in front of him, singing softly to liberate his true name. Avalon, an independent and ideal homeland. The scabbard of the Star Holy Sword is broken down into hundreds of pieces and protected around Luochen's body. The attack of Lei's Movie never touched him, they were like they were in two worlds. What? Lei Movies looked surprised and couldn't understand why his attack couldn't harm the opponent. You and I are not in the same space. I am in the ideal land of fairies, an evergreen land. Luochen took steps and kept getting closer, but the thunder added to him, but he couldn't hurt him. His hand extended out of Avalon's range and touched Dream One's heart. Raymond immediately felt the repulsion of Dream One's heart in his hand, and a force bounced her hand away. Knights do not die unarmed. Dreaming with one heart. The dream, which was originally emitting purple thunder, has transformed into a dark and terrifying red pattern. My dream is one heart. Give it back to me with one heart. Like a little girl whose toy has been stolen, Lei Movie screams regardless of her image. Lei elements roll down, and purple light flashes through, illuminating the dim pure land of one heart. But you cannot touch Luochen at all. She opened her mouth and murmured silently. I have never felt so powerless before. I can't understand why my sister's knife repels me. She has already integrated her consciousness into this dream, and it can be said that the knife is herself. How do mortals seize the power of gods? Sure enough, I can't do anything. The password is correct, the account is logged in from another location, and the server is not responding. See, nothing is eternal, even weapons can betray themselves. How about it, General? Do you know how to achieve eternity? If you can persuade me, I am willing to sacrifice my head. If not possible. He lifted his dream and pointed at the deity in front of him. Just hold on to your ideals and drown. Eternal. How to obtain it? Thunder Movie suddenly discovered. I have been fighting against wear and tear for hundreds of years in this pure land of mind, pondering the path of eternity, but have yet to obtain an answer. Eternity. She suddenly looked up at the man in front of her. So what do you think is eternity? The only thing that lasts is change. Time can change everything, and neither humans nor gods can escape this law. For humans, gods are eternal. Humans cannot live as long as gods, for gods it is a fleeting thunder. That's enough. Lei movies cannot accept such eternity, constant death, constant rebirth, and only loss. What do you know? What's good about a fleeting dream? Even if it's as dazzling as fireworks, all that remains in silence is darkness. It's better to leave the most beautiful moment and exist forever. She no longer wants to lose anyone. Although it hasn't existed for a long time, humans can shine brightly within a limited amount of time. We strive to live our lives without ever having to endure and leave it for future generations to inherit. This is how humans grow repeatedly. Even with separation and sadness, leaving a better future for the next generation is the eternal life that will never disappear. To be honest, sometimes I really feel like Rei's movie is based on the script of Gigi Ao. She doesn't have the ability or the brain to do it. Eternal. Life. Lei's movie murmured softly, is what he has been pursuing wrong? Is my pursuit of eternity wrong? Am I wrong? It's not too wrong, General. Open your eyes and take a look at the current rice wife. Luochen handed his dream to her with all his heart and said, go and take a look. Today's rice wife is no longer as happy as before. Why, the general should be steadily governing Inami. Fearing that Luochen might not understand, Lei explained his relationship with General Lei in the movie. Luochen said, the general is only governing Inami, but what if his subordinates deceive her? Chapter 9. Truth and Shadow. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are you saying that San Fengxing betrayed me? This is absolutely impossible. People's hearts can change, Luochen said. Humph. Lei movie let out a cold snort, and Luochen flew out of the pure land. Lei film took over the general. General. Someone, take down Luochen. With a low shout from Jutiao Sakura, soldiers approached and the people below were discussing. He didn't actually die. How could he not have died? That's General. Ghost, it must be a ghost. Hurry up and call the witch. Lord Ba Chonggong is right up there. Lei movies stopped the soldiers and said, enough, I declare that Luochen is the first in this imperial competition and is appointed as the imperial guard of the general. Luochen. Degrees Celsius, ah. What are you talking about? When will I become the imperial guard? Little one, thank you, General. Ba Chong Shensi stepped on Luochen, and Luochen reluctantly bowed and said, thank you, General. Humph, I'll look at you. As Lei movies spoke, his eyes fell silent, replaced by General Thunderbolt. Tomorrow, you come to Qianshou Pavilion. Saying it and leaving with lightning. Little one, it seems that you have met her and gained her appreciation. My money. Of course I will give it to you. What's the rush? Come with me to Mingxian society. Wait a moment, I'll go find my friend. Merlin and Yayi are still here. Finding two people in a deserted place, Merlin smiled and said, "Oh my, that god is really scary. I almost thought you were going to have an accident. With Avalon around, nothing happened, and you've seen even more powerful gods, haven't you? There are a bunch of demons and monsters on the side of Xingyue, and Luochen doesn't believe that Meilin will be scared. This guy doesn't have human emotions, even if he does, he pretends. The only time I felt guilty was when King Arthur died, he got out of it and fell into the trap prepared by the fairy. From then on, trapped on a high tower, observing humanity beyond the timeline." "Huh, it looks like you know a lot. I'll be playing with Inami for a few days, and you, Yayi?" "I need to go back to school." "Yayi." Luochen called out to Yayi, "Don't keep anything in your heart. Everyone in the chat group will help you take care of it." "Thank you." Yayi felt incredibly warm in her heart. After bidding farewell to the two, she returned to her own home. Luochen arrived at Mingshan Dash and was pulled under the divine cherry tree by the eightfold divine sun. Tell me carefully what she thinks inside. For this autistic friend, Hatchet Shinko has been trying to find a way to pull her out, but she is facing a general dull. Luochen recounted the events he encountered in the pure land of One Heart, omitting the section about Avalon and Duodao. After a moment of contemplation, Shigemi sighed and said, "Overall, at least I'm willing to look outside." With a charming smile, "You're doing very well, little one. I'll give you everything I promise. Now that you're the general's guard, I'll flatter you." "What are you saying?" "Every day, there is only one sun in my heart, Lord Shensi. You really make me happy. Do you want to conquer the beautiful and wise Lord of the Eightfold Palace?" said the Eightfold Divine Sun with a trembling smile. "Congratulations, the progress of the strategy is already 1.5. Saying it is the same as not saying it, it's still 1/5. Luochen rolled his eyes and said, "Alright, Gong Si, what are you going to do, Thunder God? Let her take a look at Ina's current wife and see what General and Sanfengxing have done foolishly. Lord Shensi, you know these things clearly, but you're just waiting for this day, right? Humans always do foolish things, even if we stop them, we will do it secretly," said the Eightfold Divine Sun with a soft smile, "and I'm just the palace chief of Mingshan society, responsible for eliminating evil and worshipping these affairs." A nonchalant and aloof demeanor. A fox with crumbs is a fox with crumbs. "Okay, I'll leave the matter to you, General. Don't let me down. I just want to take some money home. After this incident, I will let you go home." "Okay." Luochen looked at the divine cherry tree and said that it came from the future. It was Thunderbolt who borrowed the power of Istru to make it grow in the past and protect Inami. Can this be used as a weapon? Human beings always cannot suppress their curiosity. Unable to control himself, Luochen pressed his hand against the tree and, curious, activated the night to not die unarmed. In an instant, the colorful cherry tree became pitch black, covered in blood-colored veins, causing the 8 heavenly gods to panic. "What did you do, little one?" "Ah, this. Is this Mingshan society?" The gentle female voice carries a lazy and tired tone, and the words carefully listened to are no different from those of a movie about thunder. Luochen was so scared that he let go of his hand, and the divine cherry tree changed back to its former appearance. See the ghost. Bakhong Shensi didn't understand the situation, probably related to Luochen. "The witches in the shrine are in chaos, we still need to go and comfort them." Leave Luochen alone, listening to the voices in his mind. "Oh, is that beautiful woman a godson? She's grown so big now. Are you?" "Ah, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Thunderbolt Zhen, and I should be the last Thunder God of Inami's wife. How about you? Thunderbolt really? Aren't you dead?" Residual consciousness, originally sleeping soundly in the divine cherry tree, but your recent behavior has awakened me and I can only stay with you for now. The voice is really cheerful, not at all like a person who has died for hundreds of years. My name is Luochen, and I am the Imperial Guard of General. Is Liu a person? It seems like a genius to be able to be the Imperial Guard. How is Ina's wife now? Luochen told the former Thunder God about his wife's current situation, causing her to remain silent for a while. Finally, it turned into a sigh. Sure enough, shadows are not suitable for governing the country. It's too difficult for Shadow to cut people down, but it's too difficult for her to govern the country. Luochen, you should tell me what you just did. The eightfold divine son went back and forth, with an unwavering expression. Luochen, can I borrow my body for a moment? Okay. Luochen smiled at the eightfold divine son, and his voice turned into the true voice of Thunderbolt. Long time no see, little divine son, he said, this voice, this tone, are you a true adult? It's me, time flies so fast. Before, you were just a little one, and I could still hold you in my arms. I am truly sighing, bringing up a little known past. But how could you? I am just a residual consciousness now, borrowing Luo Chen's body to take me to the Tianshou Pavilion. I want to go see the shadow. I'm afraid it's difficult, said the eightfold divine son, shaking his head. Shadow is very autistic now, probably dropping a little pearl in the pure land of one heart. What I saw was also a puppet general. That child. I really had a headache. Inami's current situation must be resolved. Shadow is not suitable for governing the country, so I must bring Inami back. But your situation. There seems to be a force in Luo Chen's body warming up my consciousness. No problem, he said, patting his chest. That's good, then let's go see a movie first. I will pave the way for the true adult. Eightfold divine son smiled and said. Ying is a complete elder sister control. With the presence of Zhen, she will obediently obey. Chapter 10 is broken. I have become a general. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Tian Shou Good General Thunderbolt inquired about what was happening in Ying's pure land. She felt that Luo Chen would affect eternity, but she didn't understand why the inner shadow would let him go. But there was no response. General, please meet with the Divine Son. People from the Imperial Guards and the Imperial Guards came forward to report. General Thunderbolt opened his eyes and said, I can't see. Yes. Shortly thereafter, a thunderous roar opened the door, and behind the eightfold divine son, 9 imaginary tails swayed, leading Luo Chen in. Oh my, really, we are at least old friends. Isn't it not good to have servants dismiss me? Breaking into the general's mansion without permission and bringing someone to attack, what should be the crime of the 8 heavenly divine son? I don't want to see you, Shadow. I brought the person you've been thinking about day and night. Bakong Shensi stepped aside and Luochen walked in. General Thunderbolt frowned and said, Luochen, as my personal guard, are you acting like this? Do you want to die? In the pure land of one heart, Lei's movie is uplifted. The person I think about day and night. Luochen lent his body to Lei Zhen and said, Ying, sister is here. Aren't you coming out to see her? Sister. General Thunderbolt was about to speak when Shadow immediately went online and dragged everyone into the pure land of one heart. Is this voice, sister? Is it sister? Although 500 years have passed, my sister's voice and shadow will never be forgotten in her lifetime. Her excited emotions make it difficult for her to speak, and her entire body is trembling. Yes, I'm sorry, Ying. The only way I can see you now is through this. I've always felt guilty and suddenly entrusted my wife to you. In the pure land of one heart, Chen also revealed her true form, and Ying suddenly hugged her sister, crying uncontrollably. During the Cambrian rebellion, almost all 7 gods were present, but under that battle, even the gods would fall. Those who were already not good at fighting died in that battle, and by the time Shadow rushed away, they couldn't hold on for long. After hastily entrusting his wife to his younger sister, he passed away, and his remaining consciousness remained dormant in the cherry tree. Sister, why didn't I go to that battle back then? If you stayed. The maintainer of the heavenly principle demands the 7 rulers of the earth, and only I will go. And if you go to Canria, what will Inami, who is in a dark disaster, do? The real questioning silenced Ying. She didn't want to lose either her sister or Inami. I can die, but if I lose you, who is the most powerful, Inami will truly perish. Inami's wife is approaching the outer sea of darkness. Most of the undead demons who failed in the war of demons have fled there. If Shadow also dies, then Inami's wife will really be finished. Sky Island summoned the 7 rulers of the mortal world to suppress a country in one breath. Obviously, Canria is very dangerous and I really don't want to die in that battle. I just didn't expect that the dark disaster would cause heavy losses to Ina's wife. She actually thought she would die, but she believed that the team she left behind could assist her. But to my surprise, the trained soldiers suffered great losses in the pitch-black disaster, and the monster friends were left with only divine sons. If it weren't for the young age of the divine son at that time, he would probably have joined the battlefield and never come back. Ying, can you tell me about the current situation of the rice wife under your governance? This Shadow is now like a student caught sleeping in class by the teacher. I'm extremely scared. A gentle smile, but with a hint of impending rain. Luochen and Bakhong Shensi stood on the side, fiercely eating melons. This melon is so fragrant. It would be even better if there were a small stool and melon seeds. The shadow that harbors consciousness in the heart of dreams has been isolated for hundreds of years, and national affairs rely on generals to represent them. The shadow cannot answer this question at all. I'm not sure, said the stuttering and feeling guilty. Since you're back, sister, everything will be okay. The external brain of the shadow returns, ready to give up thinking again. I really had no choice but to start preaching. Half an hour later. Shadow's eyes were lifeless, Baba 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 murmuring. The eightfold divine son and Luochen next to them were satisfied with what they saw. It's rare to see a shrunken appearance in the shadows. The fox smiled happily, only struggling to bring a photo camera. Otherwise, this pitiful appearance should have been photographed as a commemoration. Alright, I should go too. Sister, are you leaving? No, you can't leave. Shadow, like a scared little girl, tightly grasped the true hem of her clothes and gambled, I won't let you go. Shadow, you're no longer a child. You need to learn to grow. I need to stay in Luochen's body and warm up my consciousness, she said helplessly. Looking at Luochen, I also want to follow my sister. Luochen. Degrees Celsius, what do you think of my body as? Is it a girl's dormitory? Shadow, don't you pursue eternity anymore? Yeo Shinzi asked with a smile. With my sister around, eternity will eventually arrive. I completely gave up thinking. Luochen looked at Han Baoying, realizing that his previous indifferent elder sister was indeed his illusion. This is just a silly bag. No, just one consciousness is enough for me to bear, I can't bear another one. Oysters touch oysters. Shadow, you come with me. Who will govern the country? With the general present, even if there is a problem, isn't there still a sister? This idea of not growing up really makes me feel helpless. I don't care, I just want to be with my sister now, said Luochen, thrusting his dream into his hands with determination. I will have the general issue a decree that from now on, you will be the acting general of Inami. It's broken, I've become a general. Don't, I still want to go back to Liyue after it's over. It's impossible. You have to stay with Inami until my sister leaves you. Why do I owe so much? Coming out of the pure land of one heart, Luochen was not feeling well. Still holding a dream in his hand. General Thunderbolt remained silent for a while before issuing the decree according to Shadow's orders. Luochen became the acting general and could command everything for Inami. If there is no compliance, it is against the gods. The influence of the Thunder God on Inami is significant, no less than that of the Rock King Emperor in Liyue. Of course, Emperor Yen would not rule the country so poorly. As soon as this law was issued, the entire rice wife was shaken. Sanfengxing couldn't understand why Thor would hand over such a powerful position to an outsider. In the eyes of many people, Luochen, who came from Liyue's background, is just an outsider. Absurdity. What exactly is general thinking? The head of the Jojo family, Jojo Xiaoxing, patted the table and roared, "How can Luochen be qualified to become the acting general? No, I want to meet the general." Then, Judiao Xiaoxing would meet General Thunderbolt and be driven away by General Thunderbolt, who also did not understand. As long as it doesn't affect the pursuit of eternity, everything else is trivial.